Hello, I would like to share a very important message with you, especially with the system that is going on these days with the shootings and other things. I would like to share this with you. Every bill, every dollar bill, every $100 bill, it says, "In God we trust." It's a declaration of trust in our Creator. This message is very important because when we say something, we also have to believe in it and act upon it. Every US currency points to this very important and vital fact of life that plans of our Creator have much higher and vital purpose than that we are attempting to recognize. And if this trust and relationship becomes severed, massive problems such as confusion, complexity, difficulty, and consequently great hardship will become widespread as we see today. Pandemic, wars, massive shootings, hunger, homelessness, gun violence, etc. In Galatians 6:7 says, "Do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, this he will also reap." Consequence or outcome is a painful fact of life, which sometimes becomes unbearable. 1 Peter 4:10 says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." Also in Luke 6:35 it says, "But love your enemies and do good and lend and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great." It is vitally important to look at some of the statistics and data which will manifest a very painful, sad, and stressful situation that exists in the United States and creating massive, painful situations for everyone. And only those who have governmental authority could resolve it. One, 38 mass shootings in the US in 2023 alone. 38 mass shootings. 40,167 firearm deaths in the United States in 2023. 40,000 mass shootings. Firearm deaths. 40,000 firearm deaths in 1 year. 653,104 homeless in the US in 2023. 653,000. 205,000 die of starvation in the US every year. 25,000 people every day die of starvation in the world, including 10,000 children Some 854 million people worldwide are undernourished, in other words, starving. Ordinary people, single mothers, elderly, and seniors who own their home are painfully overwhelmed with the outrageous property taxes, while everything that they do are taxed. These figures are tremendously painful for ordinary citizens simply because they have to struggle through all these in every day of their lives. But for a member of a Congress or governmental must be more painful because these figures are simply the result of the quality of his or her performance. Meaning, if a Congress person's salary is $175,000 a year, to have the authority to propose or change something to make some difference, he or she is obligated to do so. Titus 3:14 says, "And let our people learn to devote themselves to good works, so as to help cases of urgent need and not be unfruitful." In Luke 12:48 says, "I am from everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, much will be required." In the presence of those mentioned figures and data, we must look at another important set of data which reminds us of our duties and virtues. Number one, yearly US military budget is $877 billion. $877 billion is a military budget. Again, 653,000 homeless sleep in the cold and hot in the streets, including children, women, and elderly, pointing to this fact that our criterion has severely been damaged or misplaced. Foreign aids that include military aid to countries such as Israel, Ukraine, etc., even Pakistan, is over $60 billion, while Israel is responsible for mass murder of thousands of innocent people of a country that they have occupied for 70 years. Our criterion of help must be exactly of what our Creator demands and guides us to. See to it, in 1 Thessalonians 5:15 says, "See to it that no one repays evil for evil to anyone, but always pursue what is good for one another and for all." This is the command of our Creator. If our actions and decisions does not comply with the guidelines of our Creator, not only will not be fruitful, but in contrary, bringing confusion and other problems. there is a great power in education than force of military. There is a great power in education than force of military. The salary of a congressperson is over 174,000 per year versus an average public school teacher is 56,000 a year. One must be reminded that burden of all these skyrocket spending is by taxation of citizens, including seniors, single mothers with children, young students who have to work to support themselves, and many more. What comes with power is responsibility. What comes with responsibility is care and action. The quality of action rests in growth and healing. What are we asking? Number one, please make guns illegal or only sold through government agencies to security guards. Number two, reduction of taxes by reduction of military budget and salary of congressmen and women. Number three, taxation of elderly above the age of 70 must stop or minimized. Number four, United Nations must be given the power to judge and resolve issues that comes between countries. Without this global authority, wars and chaos will become widespread as we are seeing it today. Number five, education versus force. 800 billion is spent to kill versus fraction of that spent to educate. Countries such as Mexico could tremendously benefit from education in farming, schooling, government, elimination of illegal drug production, housing, roads, etc. This will eliminate one of the most long-lasting pain and suffering of this country and elimination of illegal migration. Number six, inmates that have a year or less to be released can be taken out on daily basis by licensed electrician, plumber, etc. to work for a wage for certain daily hours and be returned to jail in the afternoon. Another awesome process of creating education, job training, security after release, and most importantly, prevention of return to prison because of confusion and hopelessness. Number seven, care for homeless. Please, as a human being sleeping in a cold, rainy night in the street is a painful, heart-breaking process that no one should go through. And everyone is morally dutiful to do something. Certain buildings must be purchased and small rooms should be provided for their staying and help be given to them for employment and further education. In conclusion, I humbly urge everyone who has any authority to please consider to share your efforts to provide healing and progress both in this great nation and also in global level. as it is very much needed. May God bless you. Thank you.